Good evening. Hello, Cindy. Welcome
Hello.
to Paranormal Brew. How are you this evening?
Good. Real good.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for wanting to come on and talk about the Ross House in Bel Air, Ohio. Um, let's just get into it. I mean, let's talk a little bit about you, if you don't mind. Just tell us. There's some people watching, so can you see the comment? Jocelyn, she's one of my peaches. She's part of my team. She says hello. Um,
Hello.
and there's Kyle Magnus is in, and he runs White Hill Mansion in New Jersey.
Okay.
So we have another peach, Lauren, checking in. Hello, everybody. Um, so like if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about yourself first.
Okay.
You know, if you are, I apologize, I don't know much about you or the Ross House, so this is why I have you on, because I want to learn, and I want everybody else to know about these awesome locations that are out there for everybody, for us paranormal investigators to be able to go to. But now, have you been into the paranormal your whole life, or like,
No,
okay?
no, not at all. When you said that right before we went on, I kept thinking, oh boy, are they in for a shock?
No, this is good. This is
You
good.
know,
I love this.
I have been in the casino business. I was an executive host in a casino. I worked in the casino business for 46 years and just retired a couple years ago. So I was never in the paranormal business or anything before that. My whole life was in casino work.
Wow.
Um,
So
what
then,
happened
yeah. So what got you where you're at right now?
was a matter of things happening. You know, I had a business partner back in 2016. We decided to open an escape room. We enjoyed doing escape rooms for fun. I don't know if anyone's ever done them or not, but my family has owned this house, the Ross House, since 1990. And way back, it was used as a rental. Then it was closed up for, oh my gosh, many, many years, probably 20 years, you know. And my dad said that we could use it, but it would have to be cleaned out.
Okay.
So this is how we were going to well, we actually did open up an escape room, but what happened was I had to clean this place out first in order to get it ready to create the different rooms that are necessary. And that's when actually I found out that there was activity in this house was during the clean out.
Say that happens. You hear about this.
Yeah.
You hear a lot about this, especially with private homes. One of the questions we ask is, has there been any recent remodeling, any changes within the home, anything like that? Because that tends to kind of, maybe do like an uptick or create an uptick. Because listen, if I'm a spirit in a house and I'm used to it being one way, I'm going to be like, whoa, what's going on here? Why are
Yeah.
you guys changing things up? So
Right.
So it was at that point when you started to what, have experiences, or people that were helping you were having experiences in that?
Well, it was just me, and what I would do is when I would get off work, I would stop down here and I'd put about a couple hours in before I'd go home, and I would be just doing little things, to clean it out, to clean things, and I would hear things, and I would notice things. I guess the first thing that I usually tell everybody is I had the face off on a register, and I put a screwdriver down. And when I went to pick up the screwdriver had rolled out of my reach. and, and the funny thing is, it was carpet at the time. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's weird. But I didn't really think too much about it at all. Um, I thought, sure, I had to kick it with my elbow or something because I was sitting on the floor. And right after that, I thought I heard my brother come down the stairs because we have an antique store that's attached to this house.
Oh, cool.
And come to find out that it wasn't my brother. So things just like that started happening, and more and more.
Now, when you thought it was your brother, was it because you heard
Because I
someone?
heard footsteps. I heard somebody walking down the stairs.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I hollered out for Rick and he didn't answer. I hollered for him again. He didn't answer. And I thought, well, I thought, well, that's kind of weird because, he would have been gone anyway. But sure, I thought he came into the store to do something, but it wasn't him. But it was just many things I started hearing things, noticing things, shuffling, just weird things. And it started getting a little spooky, but I just kept shrugging it off and thinking, oh, it's just me. I'm here in the evening by myself. And, you know,
Yeah.
it just kept going on. And I think I could fast forward this a little bit.
We
When
got
I
some.
realized that something was wrong was when I was at work one day, and we had hired my nephew he was young, and he was going to be our game master. And I got a call from work, and Brendan was saying, Code Orange, Aunt Cindy, Code Orange, there's stuff going wrong here. And come to find out, they were out there getting their pictures taken. We used to take their pictures after everybody did a game, like a little group photo and everything by our sign. And I guess the door started rattling and everybody ran. But, and it just, things just kept going on and on and on. And I knew I had a problem here that had to be figured out.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to read more about things in the paranormal world and stuff like that.
See, these are my favorite kind of stories, and these are my favorite kind of like history of places because you have this house for one reason. You start to,
Right.
get it together for something totally not paranormal related, and then
Right.
you wind up getting pulled in. It's almost as if you weren't looking for it. It found you almost. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I mean, and these are my favorite kind of stories, like that. These ones that are that happen by accident.
Yeah. And it did. It
Yeah.
did.
So
Some of the stuff you hear about, you go, okay. And I can't say I thought too much about it.
yeah.
You know?
Right. No, like before. So before you realized what was going on.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
See, that
Yeah.
happens. That happened to me. I can relate to that sort of a feeling and
Mhm.
this and that because before I was into the paranormal, I was having some weird stuff happen, but you forget about it almost, or you don't like
You
think too much about
you
it
do. You
until you
do.
learn what
Mhm.
it is that, and then you go back and you go, oh, that's what happened. You're like, okay. Lauren says these are the best kind of stories. I love this.
I
We
just
do,
wanted something for after retirement,
yeah,
I thought I'd give it this was in 2016 is when we opened up the escape room. So, my thing was, something extra income after retirement, something I enjoyed, and it just turned different.
So so are you okay, so do you still do the escape room, or now is it just open for paranormal investigations?
Well, in October of 2022, Escape Zone moved to Cambridge, Ohio. Okay, and this now is basically used for overnight investigations.
So
Yeah,
how did you get to that transition? Like did you call a paranormal team to come out and say, "Can you help me? Because I want to know what's going on here."
I sure did.
Yeah.
So, how this all came about was, this is going back a few years, after we were open. I knew I had a problem here. And of course, I didn't, I was getting scared, but I couldn't tell nobody that, right? So I knew that down the street, my brother probably reminded me that down the street was a lady by the name of Kristen Lee who had the Belair house. And I says, well, I'm going to call her and I'm going to talk to her, and maybe she can help me come in here and tell me what's going on. And one thing I did forget to mention was when I was cleaning this place out, and my dad let me have the house, he told me that there was activity in this house, and I just blew it off.
Oh, so
I
dad had
never thought it,
experiences.
because my dad was just a storyteller, and I just didn't think a thing about it, right? So anyway, I call Kristen, and she's, says, Cindy, I'll, be more than happy to help you. And she says she was going to get some people together and come down, and she did. So she came in with the team, and they were trying to explain things to me. They did their thing and investigated, and I still didn't know really a lot of things, but it was very calming to know that it was nothing bad.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that was very helpful.
yeah, because prior to knowing anything, generally when somebody calls for help, they
Right.
they generally are not familiar with the paranormal
Correct. Yes.
world, right?
Correct.
So I always tell people, when I go to private homes and stuff, I would always tell them, like, look, it's natural to be afraid of this stuff or scared because
Yes.
it's the unknown. If we didn't know what ants were and and a couple of them went crawling across your countertop, you would be scared out of your mind because you
Right.
don't know what that is, right? So
Right. Yes.
it's kind of the same thing. And once you get somebody in there that can help you and to help you, like, describe some things and give you, you know, um, ways to, kind of set boundaries, if you will, or, this and that, then, and understand what it is that you're
And that's taken a
experiencing.
while.
I'm sure it does take a while because there's probably always something new happening or something coming up or something, you know what I mean? And the paranormal field, I don't think any of us, even the most seasoned investigators, would ever be able to say that they know this inside and out with 100% certainty of anything, you know?
Right. In my world, before this, everything was black and white. Okay. And what I'm finding out here is that it's not black and white. There's always changes. There's such uncertainty. It's very different, just very different than the type of business that I was in.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, for sure. So you have a team come in and she
Hmm.
starts to help you out, and then when
Right.
did you decide that you were going to then open it up for paranormal teams to come in?
We moved Escape Zone to Cambridge, Ohio. Okay. And it was a much better fit for the business. And I knew that I was going to see if I could just have the house just for all investigations. So my business partner and I split. We're still very good friends, and I still will go up there and help her. And I did a flip of this place and opened it up a couple weeks later to let investigators come in. But
Yeah.
we actually had investigators coming in way before that.
Right.
But they
Right.
would have to wait until after the games were done, late at night, like after 11 o'clock usually, before they would come in.
Right. Now, did you notice that once you started doing the escape zone, that things got even more revved up?
Oh, yeah. In escape rooms, people get very excited. Okay. And there's hollering and everything. And that seemed to upset the house, especially the room I'm in right now, which
Oh,
has a resident spirit that doesn't like noise or he gets annoyed easily with people, who raise their voice or. So it was, yeah, it was different.
yeah. Now, have you been able to find any history on the home or of
Sure
any?
have. Yeah. And that sure did. So what I found out, and I have to actually thank Kristen for this too, because we share a lot of the same history. And she told me all about, the Hetheringtons and the Finks and everything. So what happened was, I did a lot of research, as much as I'm still researching.
Yeah, always.
And back in the 1800s, a lot of this land was owned by the Hetheringtons and also by Captain John Fink. The area that I'm at, First Ward, was actually owned by John Fink. And what he did was he lotted off 49 and a half acres. And this house was actually built in 1895 by a gentleman by the name of Charles Anderson. And he built the house here because he actually had a grocery store across the street.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So the house actually changed hands a few times. It was actually owned by a Harry Weeks who raised his family here for a while. And then Fred and Marie Getros, who had the house right before, my father bought it in 1990. But we still have the old residents. The Getroses are still here.
There we go.
Yes.
Well, so how do you get to know has any of the names or any of the things that have come up, like you were saying, that there's a resident spirit there that he seems to be aggravated, which generally we believe that if they were like that in life, that's how they are there.
Mhm.
Um but um but has any of that been have you been able to connect the dots with the history that you've researched, like, and found that some of the people or names that have popped up actually were a part of the history of the property of the place?
Well, I'll tell you, it gets interesting here, and there's a couple reasons. So back in in this room here, there's a intelligent spirit by the name of Alfred. But as I researched, and his name has come up many times, and Alfred has been a not so nice of a spirit per se. He's done he's a name caller, just not a nice spirit. Like
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't nice in real life, but and that's where I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I have found out is everything this Alfred talks about is, has made me to believe that he was actually a gentleman by the name of Alfred Zaccanini, who actually lived directly across the street,
Nice. That's
okay,
cool. Yeah.
from the house. And Alfred Zaccanini actually died in the coal mine 2 miles down the road.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that was
interesting.
in 1925 that he
That's
passed
awesome.
away. But I believe. I mean, I'm trying my best to prove it. But I feel that that is who's in this house. Now, Marie Getros, who was the last person to own this house right before she passed, she's made herself known many times, and still and wonders why people are in her house. And I find it interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, she knew. She obviously did. So did you know her?
I did not know her. No,
Oh, okay, okay.
no. So Fred and Marie Getros bought this house back in the late 40s. Fred passed away in 1975,
Oh,
up in the main bedroom, the master bedroom, and Marie passed away in 1990 here. So the reason they owned this house was strictly to raise and skin chinchillas.
wait, what?
So
Raisin what?
raise and skin chinchillas.
Skin. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Like
So
skin?
chinchillas is a little animal. It's like
No, I love chinchillas. I
yeah,
know what they are, but what do you mean by skin? Chinchillas.
they would raise them so that they could skin them to use their fur to make fur coats.
Oh. Well,
So
wait.
this was called the Chinchilla Ranch.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So wait, so did the chinchillas die?
Yes.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah. But that's what they did. So well, I think what you have to understand is this area. Okay. So back in
Somebody said, "Don't tell Taryn." Well, Cindy didn't do it, right? It
I
was.
didn't do it. No, I love animals.
I love animals a lot.
Yeah.
So okay, so go ahead. What were we saying? So back in this,
So back in, I think the reason they have to understand why is because back in the 1800s, the early 1900s, and going forward, this was a very busy place. This area that is looks so horrible now and so run down, and Blair's not what it used to be. But back in the early 1900s, this was really a great place to be. You had the steamboats that would draw people off. They would come down here to do their shopping because there was all these shops, mom and pop businesses. You know, we were big. We had glassware factories. We had coal mines. This was where people wanted to come and raise their children. And we had the train depot right down the street. That where the trains would drop people off, and yeah,
that's so really
the
quick.
history is very important for, I believe, for why this place has so much activity.
I agree with you 100%. I agree that history and the haunts when they come together, it makes a place so like I love places that have legit history, that have legit stuff happening and going on. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like I said earlier, there's so many pop-up locations happening, and you just don't know. I mean, people out there, especially if they're new in the paranormal field, they don't know who to trust or where to go. You know what I mean? So it's important
right.
that people know about places like yourself and your place, because real quick, Jen from Bump in the Night Society, she is said Cindy, my love.
I love her.
Oh, I love her too. She's great. She's
Oh,
amazing.
I love her.
Um,
Oh, the Bins crew. They actually, I'll tell you what, if you have anybody out there who's new, doesn't have a team, who would want to come to the house, we're actually, the Bins crew is coming here on May the 25th, and we're doing a public investigation here. They did it one other time. It was a lot. Oh my God, they're a riot. They are a riot. I want to dance with Jen so bad.
oh yeah, me
I
too.
mean,
She's
she
great.
does all this stuff, and she brings life to the party.
Yeah,
But
she does.
they're going to have a public here, and you can actually go on their page and purchase tickets. We're only doing 16 tickets. That's it. That's enough for here. But we're not just investigating the Ross house. We're going to investigate the antique store,
Oh, cool.
which is it it's crazy. It's like over 7,500 square foot
Oh, wow.
of antiques.
That's huge. I would be
It
going
is huge.
shopping if I was there. I'm an antiquer. So I would be like, what? I'm like, hold on, ghosties. Don't say anything. I want to look at this antique chair over
It happens all the time. The last people that were here walked out with a 5 foot tin man. Yes.
Jen said she
Or
bought
no, two people back. Yeah.
wow. Jen said
Christopher did.
she bought her bed from there.
She did. Yes, she did. Yes, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the antique shop though, you excuse me, all day today. Um, the antique shop is connected to the house.
By a door. Yeah, I'll give you guys a tour of the house.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah, I would love to see it. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Hmm.
Um, so the antique shop is connected to the house.
Hmm.
So naturally, I mean, and then there are people that believe that antiques can also hold energy or
Oh
can.
my gosh, yes.
So
Yes.
I mean, it was that also something that was new to you as well, like learning the paranormal stuff. Like, I mean, the stuff in the antique shop could probably be coming back, and you know what I mean, could be coming into the house and vice versa.
Yes. There seems to be spirits that come in for a while, they're gone. Okay. I have referred to the antique shop as a bus depot. Okay.
Interesting.
Because we buy out estates. We buy out we get calls all the time. Every day there's calls. Aunt Jane passed away, my grandmother passed away, Uncle Harry passed away. And we pick up this furniture, bring it in, but it gets resold and it goes back out. So we're kind of like we're a depot over next door, you
Oh,
know.
that's cool.
And the antique store's been in my business, my family's business since 1952.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I think one of my peaches had mentioned the peaches have to. Oh, Kim, the peaches need to get there. Yes, we do.
Peaches.
That's my paranormal peaches. We're a group of 7 women. We're best friends. We love each other. We have so much fun when we go to
Well,
location.
you're more than welcome. So what I do here is I really try. I try my best here. Okay. People can come in as early as 5 o'clock. They could stay the night. I have bedding for everybody. I have front room heat, window air conditioners in the summertime. I have kitchen, bathrooms. It's it is what it is. They're safe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and they check out 9 o'clock in the morning.
So do you do weekends or do you just do overnights or, like what is another peach said sold?
There's things to do. There's actually the casino down the couple miles down the street. Something to
We
do
love
in the
it.
daytime.
Yeah, we love
Yeah.
casinos. So he said that. So another one of my peaches, Dana. She said, "Did somebody say casinos? Like we're huge. We like casinos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So what would it, if you don't mind, what does it cost? To rent out if we wanted to do an overnight or if we wanted to do a weekend. Like
Sure.
what
Yeah.
are what costs?
So to rent like my place here, okay, what I do is it's $300 for a weekend. Okay, for a weekend night, a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, it's $300 a night, up
Okay.
to 5 investigators. And for additional, it's $50 more. But I always strongly suggest if you only do the house, just bring 5. The house tends to respond to smaller groups. Okay. They get much better results. This is a trend I've noticed for the past year and a half. So if they do the store also, it's an additional $200. So, and they have
or just
a lot, but you better have a big group because it's a lot of area to cover.
Well, yeah.
During the week, my place is $200 a night.
Okay.
Monday through Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Same hours, not 9 or 5 until morning.
So Kim is asking, can I get a late checkout? 10:30.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. I can tell you I'm pretty easy. I'm not hard, especially on Saturday nights because we usually say 9 o'clock because we need the parking in the front for the store. But yeah, we're very easy going here. We're not hard on anybody.
Yeah, no. And so I got a question though, really quick. So when you said add the store, it's 200. Is that per night? Like if we
Per
were to,
night, yeah.
so it would
So
be
if you like did let's just say during the week you wanted to do the Ross House and the antique store, it would be 400 total.
okay for
Okay, but
that,
have a big team. Okay.
right? Yeah,
Um, if you wanted to do a weekend night here, the Ross House and the store, it would be 500.
correct. Okay,
Okay.
right,
So 500 a night for both.
right. Each night. I just want people to understand it would be 500
Sure.
for Friday night, 500 for Saturday night.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Um, Jing here, she is from Indonesia, so she's watching from Indonesia. Just
Wow.
you know,
Hey.
and she said, "I want to come with you there." And she wants to come with me in the brew. She was saying the Paranormal Brew and the peaches. So, Jing, if you can get here from Indonesia, you are more than welcome to go wherever I go. I love you. Thank you for watching. Uh, now, patrons, have any patrons when you had it set up as the escape zone and this and that, were people coming to you saying weird stuff had happened to them or anything that they
Yeah.
had
You
experiences?
know, I wasn't there a lot because I was always working when the games were going on. But there was a few times that they had contacted me later and made comments to me. And there was one team when I was here that said to me, Cindy, there's something weird, very weird going on here. You know, we could tell you have something in this place. You know, we were touched many times, and I heard a man. I mean, yeah, the patrons did. Some of them made comments. Some of them contacted me afterwards. Yes.
Yeah. It seems like the gentleman is very, a lot of people are experience this man that
Yes.
you have said.
Oh, yeah.
What about the antique store? I mean, like, do people that come in there say, or does anybody ever call you that buys something and says, like, where the heck did you get this thing at? I bring it into my house and all this weird stuff starts to happen.
I got a funny story on that. Years and years ago, my dad told the story of this woman who bought this metal cupboard, took it home, was using it, and she called about a month or so later, and she says, there's something attached to this metal cupboard, and you need to come and get it. I need to resell it back to you because it's driving me crazy. I can't stand it. And so they kept trying to contact her to go and pick it back up, buy it back off of her because it was upsetting her. But we could never get a hold of her. And then come to find out that she decided she wanted to keep it.
Interesting.
Okay. And the reason was now her kids were concerned and they were coming around more to visit her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they're concerned about their grandmother or mother, whatever it was, and they're coming back around. So she's keeping it to keep the kids coming.
Wow. Isn't that something? It's
My
funny.
dad told me that story.
That's a cute. I actually like that story. I really like that story. What would you now? Do you investigate with the teams when they come in and stay?
Well, no. What I do is I come in, I give them a tour of the house, and I try to. When I give a tour, I really stress the history of what has happened in this area because I believe that that's why there's so much activity is because of the history of the land. We're on a ley line here. There, a few miles back down the road in Willow Grove, there was a huge coal mine explosion that killed many, many people.
Wow.
And you have those mine shafts that are filled with water.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have the Ohio River on the other side of us. So I stress that. But once I get everybody comfortable and they feel good, I give them, I tell them everything I could tell them. I leave. Okay. And they know they're locked in. Well, they could go out on the porch, but they're safe. And no, the house is theirs. But I do tell them that they can contact me at any time. Just text me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions they might have. The only time I stick around is when there's a public investigation. That's the only time.
I mean, I wondered, like, have you, like, do people say now? Jen, I guess, would be one to maybe comment on this too, but um, because a lot of times the spirits are used to you, they know
Yes,
you,
yes.
so for me, I would be like, hey, why don't you hang out for a little bit, see if we get any more or less, or to see if your presence may bring more interaction. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Um,
So I'll tell you why. Okay. So a couple times I was waiting on, you know, I used to be very scared in here.
yeah.
Okay. It's something I'll clear that up. I'm not as scared as I was,
Hmm.
but there's still a lot of things that I don't know about the paranormal field. And I'm
Yeah.
still not real comfortable with a lot of things.
Right.
Right. So until I know more, I feel more comfortable not being here long. If I'm here a long period of time, I get a headache.
Mm,
Okay. I was here one time and I was waiting on an investigator, and I was sitting, it was still escape zone back then. And I felt like I was being surrounded by people, and it felt like they were closing in on me, and it scared me. And I called to see how close he was, and he told me he was an hour out.
oof.
And I gave him the code to the door. I said, I got to get out of here. So I got in my car, I was driving home, and I felt that somebody was in the passenger seat with me. And I knew the only thing in that passenger seat was my purse. I got home, I watched the late news, turned off the TV, went to bed. That TV came back on 5 times. So, and that was a lesson in attachments, right? Um, but it's just, oof, it's something I'm just not totally real comfortable with right now. I know I get spooked easy. I
I
know one time we had a public investigation way back, and we were downstairs in the basement, and I held my hand out and I asked the spirit to touch my fingers, and I felt somebody run their fingers through my hair.
That's
And
cool.
with that, I jumped and I ran. I mean, I ran up those stairs, and they
Oh,
kept saying, "Don't run, Cindy." I said, "Peace out, Buttercup." I was out of there. I was not hanging around.
that kind of gal.
Yeah, and it's narrow stairs. I scraped my arm up, didn't even realize, that I scraped my arm up. So there, I'd be, I'm going to be 69 here coming up, and I don't need to break a leg.
True.
And I still am a little leery on going out investigating. I've never gone out and investigated myself.
Yeah.
You see?
Well, I mean, like, doing it yourself kind of is like, I mean, for one, you always want somebody there with you. I know people do it, and I don't, I'm not knocking anybody for how they do stuff, but
Yeah.
me personally, and like the people I investigate with, my team and everything,
Hmm.
we don't like for people to go alone, because one, your safety, right? Like, you never know,
Right.
you trip and hurt yourself or fall, or what, something may
Yeah,
happen
absolutely.
physically wise, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But also, if something happens, like, you want somebody there. You want somebody there you just don't go along. You already feel vulnerable. right? And
Right,
you
right,
feel,
yes.
so you're already open yourself up to, whatever, and might feel that vulnerability and might
Mhm,
use that against you. So you always want to be with somebody for sure. So yeah, I would never investigate, and I wouldn't investigate my own home. That's another thing. That's another
mhm.
rule for myself. I would not investigate my own home. Now, you don't live in this home, correct?
No, no.
Do you, but aside from that one time, have you noticed anything else at your home? Like, have you noticed anything else happening? Like, because Kim brings up a point that she said, it seems like you may be sensitive, to that spirit world, like, open to it, whereas that you're able to sense when they're around, you're able to hear them, see them, and with the running of your hair, you can feel them. I don't know about see. I
Yeah.
might take that back. I don't know about see, but
Well, actually, I did see something one time, and that was another time I ran out of here. Um, it was still escape zone, and I was showing my sister the one of the rooms upstairs that we just did. It was the Western Saloon room, and we heard something fall downstairs. I said, "Well, we better go down and see what that was." I'm getting ready to go down the stairs. I saw a big face of a man, and I could tell you we ran. We ran. It was so scary. I mean, I had never run so fast in my life.
I believe me, I get it. I mean, like stuff like
Yeah,
that. I've ran a couple of times during
yeah.
investigation.
But now I could sit in here now, but there's times when, like when I came in here tonight, that before I did anything, what I said was, Alfred, behave, and I thought, thank God I'm by myself because if I had some of my friends with me, they probably think I'm nuts, because Alfred has done some nasty things in this, here, and so
um, have you figured out why Alfred is so mean?
I'd like to know that. I think he was just an asshole.
You can say that. Trust me. This
Yeah,
is this is
he was a 30-year-old immigrant from Italy, and he I don't know, but he's choked people. I mean, my gosh, he's tried to show people how he hurt Henry, and you know, I sat there one day, and this is something else that kind of makes me say I don't know everything. I sat there and watched one day where a woman was screaming in the dining room because she felt pain in her back, like somebody was stabbing her, and didn't even get the tour started. And then the girl that was with her said, "Alfred, you're hurting her." I mean, it's just, So yeah, that's why I tell him, have to behave. You have to behave. Don't,
that's what
like,
Kim just said. Ruh-roh, be nice, Alfred.
well, I tell him all the time to be nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just, it's it's very odd. It's
So,
an odd thing. But yet then there's Marie, who makes herself known, and she sometimes talks to people and tells them what she's baking, and before they even come. I
yeah. So
it's a different thing. I just don't understand it all.
yeah. Chris says from his personal experience, once you have the first paranormal experience, it's like a door opens and you have more and more and more. And
Okay.
I agree. I think so. I think that's very true. And
Good.
I think the more you're in that environment, I think it's more, you can experience it more, especially if the spirit gets to know who you are, knows that your purpose there and stuff like that. And that, you also, Cindy, have to be careful of who, and I know that you don't know this very well, but like, you have to be careful who's giving you the information too. Like, some people will exaggerate, and some people will
Correct. Yes.
lie about their experience. I'm sure
Yes.
you're aware of all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And I'm not saying like what you've gotten.
People are people. I was in the people business. I was an executive host in a casino, and I could read people pretty good.
Good.
That was my business. But I will say this, everybody, I've met some amazing people in
Yes, I'm
by
sure.
doing this.
Yeah.
And some of them do, I'm sure, think they hear things. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. You know
Right.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
what I like, and my main thing about this house is, I'm enjoying meeting people, hearing their stories. I don't want to just know their stories in the paranormal field. I want to know about them, who they are, not just when they investigate or what they've done, but who they are.
Right.
And I want them when they come here to have a good time. That's most important to me.
Yeah.
Um, it's just developing a relationship with these people.
Yeah. And
I'm not a big place here. I'm a small place, but that I'm enjoying it.
yeah, I noticed by the picture that I have. So is that's what's cut off is the store? Like I
Yes, yes,
Okay, so I could tell the house. I didn't know if it was attached. I didn't know if it was a duplex or something like that, but I could tell there was something attached to the side of the house. So
yes.
the store. Um, Now I know at one point. Now I might have misunderstood you, but did you say that you were going to show us the
Yeah,
house?
I can give you a tour of the house. Absolutely.
Yay!
Hmm.
I love this.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Hmm.
Kim, really quick, Kim says a spirit touching you is definitely not necessarily negative. Maybe they just know that you're open and sensitive and want your attention. And I agree. Um, there's a lot of times too where with especially with private homes, where people will be like, oh, it tried to push me down the steps, or it threw a glass at my head, or it did this or it did that. A lot
Hmm.
of times, or even when people get touched or they have like red marks or they have, the whatever. And it's like, you got to understand, like I always go back to, if they're old enough, I always go back to the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, and I say
Right.
when he's in the subway and he's trying to kick the can. Anybody that watches Paranormal Brew has probably heard this 1,000 times, but he's trying to kick the can and kick the can and he can't, and then with all of his might he does it and it goes flying across the subway. You
Yeah.
know, and to me, like, kind of that's kind of like the feeling I get when I hear that kind of stuff. Like, I'm like, listen, if they want to push you down the steps, you can't see them. They can push you. They'll push you down the steps. Like, what are you going to do? Because you don't see it coming.
Right.
For me, it's just that they're trying to get your attention. So it may feel a
I
little,
believe that. I
yeah,
believe that. They do want to get your attention. That happens. You
yeah,
know, they want. I believe they want to be heard. They want their story told, and this house, definitely, for quite a while, this house was, every week it seemed like there was more information coming out, and it all connected. It was such a cool thing. um I really, I was enjoying it, and it
yeah.
was all this information that was coming out about a year ago that led me to believe that it was Alfred Zaccanini who lived across the street.
Mhm.
uh, you know it's crazy.
But if you feel that that might be correct, because I feel like a lot of us do work gut instincts and our intuition and stuff like
Yes.
that. Whether or not we don't have to be psychic mediums to use our intuition or our gut feelings. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, we don't have to have those special powers, if you will.
Right. I don't feel I have any powers. I mean, I'm
I
not
agree. I'm the same.
any.
I'm the same with you. Like, I'm not a psychic medium or anything like that.
Right.
I do experience things. And
Hmm.
you know, like going back to what Chris said, like I feel like, once you do have your first paranormal, you open that up and then it's like, okay, how far is this going to go? And then I was going to say something to that effect, but now I forget what I was going to say because I have ADHD and it happens. Sorry.
You're
Um,
fine.
but yeah, if you want to show us,
Yeah, I'm not sure how to turn the cameras, turn it around to.
so if you go to, if do you see settings?
So do I have to go back to my regular settings, or there settings on your thing here?
So no, you would go to your settings. You'll see like
Oh,
there should be a button.
am I going to disconnect you?
I hope not. If you do, just click back on that link.
Okay.
But there should be a settings, and on the settings, you'll see a camera. Do you see that? Like a camera option to touch on that. Is it in settings? It might be. All right, so let me see something. Are you frozen? I think she's frozen. I didn't realize she was frozen. I'm still talking to her. How cute is she? Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can do it here. Oh no. I can't do it there. Front row. She did. She froze. I'm gonna have to tell her to Cindy, if you're watching. Oh, there she is. Come back in. Come back in. If it's too much, I won't make her. I don't. I mean, if she's on her laptop, I don't. There she is.
Okay. Well, you got somebody who's just not very
Are you
smart
on
on
your?
this stuff. So
Are you
what I'm
on
going
your?
to do is do my best this way.
Are you on your cell phone?
I am.
All right. So from the cell phone, there's usually at the bottom it'll say if you want to do it this whatever's easier for you, but there's usually a setting that you can like the settings where the camera is,
Uh-huh.
and you select camera and it'll say front camera or back camera,
Okay.
and you would select back camera.
Where's I probably got the oldest phone. Camera. Mirror. Let's see here. Mirror my camera? Mirror my camera?
Mirror would just make it like or
back. Facing back.
There we go.
Oh, how about that? Okay.
There we go. Yay!
I learned something. Okay. So, all right, move the table. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you, well, we'll go into the very first room here when the people first enter through the door over here. Okay. So this here is the first front room.
Not going to lie, love the wallpaper, to be honest with you. Love it.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. Kim says the wallpaper is cool.
You like that?
I do. I love it.
Yeah. This is Peggy. This is Peggy is here in the house because I can't have her at my house because she actually was given to me, and she had 2 legs when she was given to me, and then my cat loved her, jumped up on the chest of drawers, and she fell down, so now she's 1-leg Peg.
I agree, Kim. Kim said, bye, Peggy. I agree.
Yeah, but she's actually pretty active.
Yeah, no, me no likey.
Okay. And this is the room that I was just talking to you, where I had a little thing set up there.
Wow, I love the decor. I love
well, what you have to understand is, so this was like a 2.5-week flip. So a lot of this is because of Escape Zone. Okay. This room here that you're looking at was actually a mausoleum room.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love the decor. I love it. I love the walls. I love everything.
Well, and then when you go in here, there's like a fake wall here. This was all one big room, but now there's a fake wall. This is the dining room. And this room here is, I haven't done a lot of work in here. I will eventually, but this is Marie is very present in this room. And she tends to talk to people, ask them why they're here, what they're doing here, just different stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. And here, this is the kitchen area. And I try to, the kitchen, believe it or not, is very active.
I'm sure the whole place is really, yeah,
I mean, it's kind of crazy. I used to think when I first opened this up, I thought this is my little area here where I could have some fun with everybody and everything. And come to find out there's activity in here. I
Yeah.
put up a wall, a board here for. I take everybody's pictures and I post their pictures.
Oh,
Whoops.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I like to. I filled that up, and like last year's are all in an album that sits out for people to see.
That's
You
cool.
know, I have coffee for people, a coffee, tea, and sometimes there's some hot chocolate packets in there. And I al- I have Wi-Fi for everybody. I make magnets. I enjoy sitting watching TV. I'll make little magnets for them, and I put some stuff in the refrigerator for them.
That's
So
nice.
yeah,
Uh,
these this is my evidence boards. This is what I
row.
okay. So my evidence boards I post
Yeah.
on Facebook all the time, and this way I know that these people had a good time. That's the main thing. I want you to have a good time, and I want to know that you caught something. So, and
Mhm.
I use that for my advertising.
That's awesome.
Yep, a little bit of house rules, and I always got some chips laid out if people get the munchies or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is the kitchen, microwave, bathroom. Believe it or not, I'm sitting here talking to this one investigator, Ashley, and the shower door slammed shut on us.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
crazy.
I like that.
Hmm.
Jim's camera at dawn said looks like a great place to visit.
Oh, thank you.
And Fleetwood Paranormal, thanks for checking in. Says and you want more and more. Yeah, for sure.
This is right here in this hallway here, something I take great pride in. This here, I don't know how much you can see of this, but this is like everything I found online and some that people have found for me of the history of the land, and
Nice.
also just pictures of the town back in the day.
Oh, that's awesome. And you got to think too. If you are somebody that's haunting, I will say haunting just for lack of better description, but
Hmm.
if you're somebody that's haunting a place, or you've decided to, this is where I'm spending eternity because I love the house, or I love that I
Yes,
was from here, I was from, stuff like seeing stuff like this around has got to help out as well.
yes,
You know,
yes. It's really crazy because a little town of Bel Air, you think nothing of it, right? I think maximum was like maybe 14,000 people, but yet we had Bob Hope here, 2 blocks down the road, Eleanor Roosevelt. I know John F. Kennedy was here. We had the Globe Hotel, which hosted, and, where all the elites would stay.
yeah,
It was really a happening place.
that's
I
awesome.
mean, yeah, it really was. I mean, they had, I don't know if you could see that, but this actually says there's a girl waiting for you in Bel Air. And the
Oh,
reason
wow.
for that postcard is because so many people were moving here. Immigrants were coming in to raise their families. And this thing here, I picked this up, and this has meaning to it, believe it or
I was
not.
going to ask you about that because I kept seeing that when you were walking by. I was like, that looks interesting.
It is. The first investigators kept getting the house has secrets. The house has secrets. And then they found a key that I have in the case. So I bought that, and I thought, this house has secrets, and it's slowly, telling me what its secrets are and what all happened here.
Yeah. Kim says that I love that Cindy is preserving the history and sharing it with others.
Yeah, yeah, it's important. I think it's important to know.
Important.
You know, it's not just coming in here and trying to make contact. I really believe you really need to know more about this area,
Yeah,
just everything.
for sure. All right. Pay attention to walking up the steps so you're not looking at the camera.
Yeah,
It's
I'm holding on. This is another bathroom the house has.
okay.
This door here is the door that connects to the store that leads you to the 3rd floor of the antique store.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hmm. Yep, you open that door. I can't get in there; it's locked. But it's the 3rd floor.
So you have to go upstairs to get into the store.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you're investigating, yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. I really like it. I love it. I want to
Hmm.
go. I want to come.
So this here is what I call the kids' room, only because of people pick up a lot of giggling in this room.
Hmm. Wow, that's pretty. I like it.
The reason that the decor is the way it is because this was actually the Western Saloon room.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, before it became, the Ross House. So that's why I put this decor up here.
Yeah. I like that I like that you kept the rooms kind of still with the theme of the escape rooms.
Yeah,
And
I didn't change a whole lot.
yeah,
I mean,
no.
the only thing, I had to change some things downstairs. A lot of painting, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that you kept it like a different.
Hmm.
It's also good for, when you are investigating and you're going into each rooms and you're like in the recorder, it's like, okay, what do we call this room? What do we call this room? What happened?
Yes. Yes.
I like that there's different themed rooms, therefore
Yes.
it's easier to,
Identify.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So this is the master bedroom.
I like that room.
Now that dress, well, it's not a dress; it's like a slip. But these two things here were actually discovered in the basement. I was cleaning out the basement, and I picked up a box. The whole bottom fell out of it, and I pulled. Oops! There was actually three things I pulled out. But these things here, I washed them about 5 times. They're handmade.
Oh,
Somebody sewed these, and I put them up in this room here. And Marie has made it known that they are not her dresses. So who they belong to, I don't know. There's a lot of things left by a lot of people
uh,
so that lived here in the past.
Fleetwood Paranormal said that room made my neck hairs stand up.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yep.
It reminds me of like the hotel room in the movie 1408 a little bit.
Huh. Well, I'll tell you, if that made a hair stand up, this hallway will, because this hallway has a lot of stuff happening.
Interesting. Just
Yeah.
the hall.
Now, this here, I never got to clean it out. There's still a lot of stuff here. But this leads into what we call the chinchilla room. And this was Fred's office, and also where they had the cages for the chinchillas.
Yeah. Has anybody ever reported any? I don't know what noises, like they make little squeaky noises and stuff, right? Has anybody ever reported any chinchilla type stuff or any around that horror story? That's a horror story to me. I mean,
people have made comments that they've gotten bit by their ankles. But what I did was, you see this fake one here?
yeah.
Okay, so I bought a tripwire, and I actually put this little chinchilla out in the hallway, and I put the tripwire by it. And I'm sitting here, and I said, if you want to touch the chinchilla, you can. And believe it or not, that tripwire went off because I put the little stuffed animal right in the middle of the tripwire, and it went right up to the animal and stopped right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, people, they pick up, well, there's always different things in this room, it seems like, but, they picked up moving stick figures from the SLS camera that actually moved and sat down. Different, just different things. The room is definitely active.
Yeah. I mean, I can't, I can imagine, there's got to be some sort of either residual or something left behind from.
They've heard screams in here. They've been in this room, and they've heard arguments downstairs. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
People talking. I mean, many times. So they hear people talking downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Please be
But
careful. Pay attention to the steps, not the camera.
yeah, I am.
It's,
The last thing I need.
yeah, no, we don't want that. We don't want that to happen.
I'm going to take you in the basement here.
We like basements. This looks like a really cool, well kept place, Cindy. I mean, it
I
really
do
looks.
try to keep it up. I do.
Yeah, it looks like you do a great job. Thank you so much, and thank you for opening up your home for paranormal investigators to come in and investigate. I mean, people don't understand, like, how, I mean, this is your home. It's, even though you don't live there, but it's your home. It's been in
Absolutely.
your family, and it's
You
to
know, I have a firm belief, and I know people like scary, spooky things, but a house doesn't have to be dirty to have activity.
no, and it
Okay.
also doesn't have to be evil. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
To be awesome. Like, and then that's another thing that people need to understand, that you know because they see what, whatever they see on TV, or the YouTubers, and whatever. But you know, I've been in a lot of locations that some of these people have gone to, and they're like, "Oh, it's the evil demon." No, there's not. You know,
Yeah.
and for me, I mean, we've been in some pretty beat up places. I mean, asylums and prisons, and
Yes.
you know what I mean. So, you know, just because a place is well kept doesn't mean it's not. I mean, the place doesn't even
Correct.
it doesn't even have to be old. It could be a brand new built house and have stuff happen.
I that I totally believe that. I do. I try to keep it up. I try. When there's something wrong with it, we fix it. You know what I mean? You have to. You
Yeah,
have to.
for
I mean,
sure.
it's just be responsible.
Yeah. Now, do people have stuff happening in the basement? Like
They
what?
do. They do. There's a gentleman spirit who tends to hang out over in this corner here, who does not talk, but he's very tall, thin. I'm hearing, and he has a very, very bushy mustache.
Hmm.
He tends to be here. Doesn't tend to be the most social person at all. But we hear things back in here, a lot. Um, Conversations, a presence, people peeking out. Of course, we get a lot of shadow play and people peeking around corners. Anyway, but you can't see back in here. But this is like, oh, it is dark. It's like a workroom, for somebody doing, in their garage, they have a workbench and all that. I'm not sure where that light is to turn that on back in there right now. But I always have a little joke I tell the investigators to make them laugh. And that is, back in this corner here, there's a fruit cellar. And in this fruit cellar that you cannot see, there's actually canned goods from way back.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, there's canned goods still there.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have got to be 50 years old. I mean, they're still there. So, yeah. But I make a joke of it. I tell them, if you get hungry, we got some canned goods back there. This is where I pulled that box from when I was getting some things out of here, cleaning this up. I know it's hard to see, but people love it down here. They love doing the Esta session down here. They've gotten some good stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, very good stuff down through here.
Now, does it get really cold? Like Ohio's, like, probably has like this, maybe the same. Well, maybe not. I was gonna say maybe they have the same weather as we do, but I don't think so. Because you got like the Great Lakes around there, right?
Not that close. We're about 2.5 hours from the Great Lakes.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, we get cold. We don't get a lot of snow, but it gets cold. But down here, yeah, it gets a little cool, but nothing like Cleveland or things like that, you know. But I'm pretty good. Like when we get every once in a while, we'll get a big snowstorm. You know, and I understand people have to cancel and stuff like that. You know, what I do is I ask for a deposit up front, you know, and to secure the day. And you know, and I've had people cancel on me, you know, to where they just something came up, they couldn't make it, and you know, it's a shame. Hopefully they, you know, they come back around, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Who's the furthest that somebody has come to stay?
Oh my gosh. Jeez. I think it was holy cow. Was it Canada? I
Oh
think
wow,
Canada. Yeah. Yeah, they came from I had a team come from Canada once.
that's cool. I
It
mean, think
was
about that.
cool.
Like you're like think about that. That the word of mouth, or it's traveling to Canada now and Indonesia,
Yeah.
and
I,
so that's pretty cool. You got Jersey, and I don't know where anybody else is from that's checking.
yeah. And I'm
All
not very well known either. You know, I mean,
um,
I've been open less than 2 years here.
yeah. Chris says he's 45 minutes from Lake Erie. He's 2.5 hours from you, so he's in Ohio.
Hmm.
Our winters aren't really. Like I said, I lived in Ohio for 3 years. I was in Fremont. I don't know if you know Fremont, um, but that's probably about 45 minutes from like Toledo. Um, two.
Toledo is, let me think. That's probably about 2 hours from me.
I'm wondering, are you closer? I'll have to look it up because.
I am across the river from Wheeling, West Virginia.
Oh, okay. So you're closer to me than what, because it used to take me about 12 hours to drive to Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like, if I can remember correctly, that was exit 6 off the Pencil or the Ohio Turnpike, I believe. I can't. My drive was turnpike to turnpike to turnpike,
Wow.
and it took me 12 hours to get to Fremont. 11 or 12. You're right along the state line. Okay, so it's probably not that bad. It's probably not that far for us. Probably not.
Right.
Um, well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
the house with us. Now, can you figure out how to turn the camera around, or
I'll try.
so we can see your face?
Yeah, let me see if I can do it. Camera back.
And then you do
Come
the
on
front
now.
and hit front.
Camera front.
Yeah.
Okay,
There.
there I am. Hey, I did it.
Yay. I told you we'd get through this together.
Yes, yes. I'm glad you helped me.
Yes, me too. So before we go, I've had you for an hour and 15 minutes already. Time
Oh,
flies, right?
really? Wow.
Yeah. Um, tell everybody again where they can find you, how they can book. Do they go? Do
Sure.
you have a website or a Facebook page, stuff like
Hmm.
that?
I do. I have a Facebook page. It's the Ross House. And you might find a couple the Ross House, but you'll know which one's mine. You'll see the house. You know, and I I take great pride. What I do is I don't post the investigators' photos, but I do post the evidence boards. If somebody wants their stuff posted, I will definitely post it for them. I know a lot of people do YouTube and TikTok and things like that. So I'll go ahead and I'll post anything they want me to post. To help them out. That I'm all for it. Okay. So you can go onto my Facebook page to see everything that all the evidence boards, anything that I have openings for, any specials that I'm running, because sometimes I do run specials here.
That's awesome.
Um, Also, I have a website, and it is therosshouse.org. But I will tell you on my website that if you decide to book that way, there is one glitch in there, or a couple of them actually, that I haven't corrected yet. And that is, it says 5 till like midnight. And that's not true. It's just a program I'm using And it's actually 5 until 9 in the morning that they can stay.
Right.
So, but they could go on there and read the history of the house. My cell phone number, it's best to text me if you'd want to contact me to come in. And it's 740-232-4544. And I could do everything for you. I could, set everything up for you to tell you what days are open, and send you more photos of the house. Anything you need, I can answer. I can take care of you by just you texting me.
That's awesome. Now, do you have anybody helping you with this, or is it just you're just a one?
Just me. It's just me. The only time that I get help with the house basically is like I'm starting to do some of these paracons, and I do them by myself. And I'll have my brother come over and he'll let the people in and sign the waiver. And I tell them to call me. If they call me on the phone, we'll go room to room. You tell me what room you're in, I'll give you the history of the room and what's happened. So that's what, it's just me doing this by myself.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. And you know what? You're enjoying it, and it's bringing so much joy to you. I love that. The smile on your face says it all.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
You
does.
know, I will say this. I know a lot of people out there, they're all for going to these big, big places, and God bless them, and I hope you catch a lot. But when somebody actually takes that break and they come here, they go, wow. And they come back.
Yeah. No,
They come
I
back.
like the small places. I like the small
Yeah.
places, and Hinsdale House is smaller. We were just at Sweet Home Estate in upstate New York. That's a smaller home, but I mean, I feel like the smaller homes have bigger history and bigger, I don't know,
Yeah.
there's more activity going on there.
Right.
You could, because it's so easy. You could be on the first floor, and if you all are on the first floor and you hear something on the second floor, you could, it's
Hmm.
usually easier to hear or like feel and this and that. And
Right.
I tend to like the smaller places.
Right. Yeah. It's fun. I mean, it is. It's been fun.
It's awesome.
You have to keep the bills paid. You hope people come, but it's more than that.
Well, I'm
You
gonna
know.
if I make it out there, I'm definitely gonna want to go shopping in that antique shop. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I
People have. I mean, people have walked out there with stuff. And
Ben said she bought her bed from there. I
she
mean,
did. Yes. And Chris Jensen, he bought a five. Well, that was the second 5-foot tin man that walked out of there. And they put it in the car. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they enjoy it. They really do.
really quick, Jim's camera at dawn said, "Delightful young lady and a fantastic house."
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing, and
Yeah.
thank you
I
so.
hope they'll look at my page, the Facebook page, and yes, if you have questions, don't hesitate. Even when this is done, just don't feel like you're bothering me. Just reach out, ask me any question you want. Just text me. You know, it I'll answer you right back.
Absolutely. And I want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
You
you.
have been amazing, and I'm happy to learn about this place. I hope that we can, we're kind of a little booked up this year, but maybe next year we can get out there, the peaches,
Yeah.
and we can come out and hang out. We have fun everywhere we go. So I know we'll definitely have fun there. They were all watching, so they were, they were
Right.
loving the house. So I'm hoping to get out there soon. Cindy, I want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing the
Thank
house.
you very much. I made it through it.
I mean, you did it. You did it. I said we would do it together. You did it. You did great. And it was a pleasure having you on. And
Thank you.
I would love to have you on again sometime.
Sure.
Maybe when we get out there, we can go live and kind of walk around the house and do the history and stuff like that.
Right.
Do it, and we'll have fun with it.
All right.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your night.
Thank you. Thank you.
And hopefully you get some people start checking you out and
I hope so. And if, like I said, if there's somebody that doesn't have a team, a family, they got somebody, one of their kids are interested, bring them to the public investigations with Bump in the Night on
yeah,
May 25th. It's a great way to start off small and also to be with experienced investigators. I mean, you can't ask for better investigators
sure.
to, that will guide you and show you the latest in equipment. You know, so
Yeah,
yeah, just give them a holler or let me know, and I'll make sure that I put you in touch with them. You'll
awesome.
enjoy it.
Absolutely. Jen's a hoot. I love Jen. So yeah,
I do
definitely.
too. She's my girl. She
Yeah.
is my girl. She brings life. She brings life to the party.
To
I
the
just enjoy her whole presence.
yeah,
Such a good
I
heart.
feel she is. She's great. I love her. Well, with that, we're gonna sign off. And
All right.
Cindy, thank you again. Thank you for everybody watching and chiming in and checking out the Ross House in Bel Air, Ohio. Again, go to therosshouse.org and check that out. And again, Cindy, she left her cell phone number. If you have any questions, you can message through the Facebook or message or call or message her. Right?
Yep.
All right. Well, you have a good night, dear.
Peace out. Bye bye. Thank you.
All right, everyone. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Please go check out the Ross House. It's really inexpensive. You when you think about a lot of the places today, um, they're charging a lot of money to investigate. This place is reasonably priced. $200 Monday through Thursday. Weekends are $300. If you want to add the antique shop, it's another $200 during the week or on the weekends. It's really reasonable, especially if you have a group of people. Then you can split that. I mean that's great. So go check it out. And until that, I will see you guys next week.